We used to play septic hockey.
Yeah.
We had a septic tank in the back because we lived out in the country.
Oh, okay.
And in the winter it would overflow.
And make an ink.
And it'd make a rink. And
Yeah.
we used to play hockey on there. I never knew. I never understood why the ice was yellow.
Yeah. You're skating on piss and shit.
And he's telling me about it. I was like, what? We used to use the cow patties as pucks. And... Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical. If movies had an after party, this would be it.
If you've not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening any further.
We got spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and can't wait to share them.
Good, bad, new, weird, or just plain gross.
We pass judgment on them all.
Today, give me your huddled mutants yearning to breathe free. Wait, let me try that again.
Say it 5 more times.
Yeah.
Give me your huddled mutants yearning to breathe free. My name is Steve. I'm here with
Shaunorama.
and
John.
today we're talking about Xmen, and that's like a bastardized quote from the Statue of Liberty.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
What's the real quote from the Statue of
Give
Liberty?
me your huddled
Give me
masses.
your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Yeah.
Give me your poor, your weak, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Yes.
Anyway,
The land of tolerance, they say.
the climax of the movie takes place in Statue of
Yes.
Liberty.
See, I would have said something, but I'm trying not to.
Some anti-American.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we love our American.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
right.
hollow lady.
This was your pick. This was your pick.
I'm going. I wanted to. I don't know. When the Xmen movie came out, I was like first in the theater and saw it like a gazillion times, and it's the end of the Xmen era with Fox, and now Xmen has been taken over by Marvel and Disney. So I kind of wanted to go back and look at the first film of all those Xmen movies that helped launch superhero movies in a big way in the 2000s.
It was done brilliantly well. I couldn't believe how well it held up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is by Bryan Singer. And back then superhero movies really weren't
Cool.
They weren't cool.
No.
Not like they are now. They shied away from the costumes a little bit.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Sean?
Oh, it didn't make me feel good at all. I wanted spandex, man.
You wanted spandex?
I did.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Okay, listen, I'm going to take a back seat here because you guys are both comic guys, and I'm not a comic guy at all. And
Did you like the leather? Did you like the leather?
I thought the leather was cool, man. I thought it was cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, but yeah, I think you guys should just sort of take this podcast.
Well, no, don't.
Well,
sell
I'll
yourself
pipe up
short.
if I have something to say, but
There's a mutant, John, in this movie.
yeah,
I have never heard of before I saw it for the first time.
really,
Yes,
who's that?
Toad.
Toad.
yeah.
Never heard of him
Slytherin.
before.
No.
Have you heard of him before?
I have the action figure of Toad at home.
Is it from the movie?
I have that one, but I have the original comic version.
Oh
No,
way.
he comes
With
a
a
bigger
little-
geek there, Steve.
He's got a swamp little diorama he goes on. It's like a swamp, and
Really?
he's holding like a frog that he's about to eat.
And this character
Wow.
goes back to the comics.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
it's the comic version. Yeah, the comic appropriate. Yeah, he
Wow.
doesn't look. He doesn't look anything like the movie version. The movie version actually made him cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he a part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants?
Yep. He was the original. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Because I'd heard of Sabretooth. I knew about Wolverine. I knew about Rogue. I knew about all that. The whole thing. All these guys, except for Toad. Suddenly we have this dude with a long tongue, where did he come from, John?
I don't know. These are all new to me. Every single one of them was new
They're
to
all
me.
new.
They were all new to me.
They're all
So
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that's that.
I think they decided with Toad. I think they just wanted to make somebody cool
Yeah.
because he's not. He's the guy. He's kind of simple in the comics, and he's the guy that's always taken advantage of. Amongst the mutants, like mutants are always made fun of by society at large, but Toad was always made fun of by the mutants. The poor kicking boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite mutant of all?
In the movie,
Yeah,
or
in the context of this movie? Yeah.
probably Toad.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I think so.
Because he's on the bad he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's
right?
the bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Ray Park played him, and Ray Park was Darth Maul in Phantom Menace.
He was.
Okay.
And he was a famous stuntman, choreographer. He actually choreographed a lot of the Star Wars stuff. So I was excited for them to take a lame character and actually make him cool. And he made him cool. He had good lines. He had little moments in there where he's like,
He had 2 lines. Come on.
he wanted
You
more.
watched
but
this way more than me,
I have, yes.
because I'm like,
I have many scenes memorized. But
Weren't you supposed to come back with somebody? What was his first line?
yeah,
And he said
yeah.
that to Sabretooth, and then his second line was like, I don't know.
And the worst in the movie was Sabretooth for me.
Really? Well, he has a bigger role in the comics. He's like Wolverine's.
He's not that
arch
dumb.
oh my
nemesis.
god, I left that running, man.
It's okay. We're gonna turn off the air thing. My favorite was Mystique.
Mystique was damn cool.
She was damn cool. And
Mystique, is that the shape-shifting?
Shape-shifting
yeah,
blue
the
lady.
naked blue lady.
Yeah.
I was
John
I
Stamos'
was
ex-wife.
enamored.
Really? And wow.
In the credits, it says Rebecca Romaine.
John Stamos' ex-wife.
Dash Stamos.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Well,
I've got too much
my
trivia, I'm
goodness.
sorry.
No, it's all good. This is your bag. This is
Yeah.
your bag. This is
So to give context, at the time that this movie came out,
Yeah.
this is why I wanted to pick it, because I think people don't remember what it was like, but there was no good superhero films, and especially if it was Marvel, there was nothing good. And the only success they'd had up to that point, other than the Incredible Hulk TV show, was the Blade movie. That's the only success they had. And X-Men got made off the back of Blade. Blade did well.
So-
And it's like they got budget to do this.
Do you feel like X-Men kicked off? Like, was the thing that started the open the doors for the
Yes.
Marvel?
Yeah, because Blade wasn't a superhero per se.
Uh-huh.
It just was a kind of a cool thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Vampire Hunter.
so people didn't like really associate it with the comics at all, because it was nothing like the guy in the comics. But it gave them the capital to actually, okay, let's try actually making an actual superhero film. So X-Men was the movie that broke it, and then Spider-Man came 2 years later. I think 2 years later, and
good old
like,
Sam Raimi.
but
Okay.
there wouldn't have been a Spider-Man without the X-Men.
So this is a historical movie. This is kind of like when we did the Kung Fu whatever was it Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee that kicked off all Kung Fu movies. Remember?
Yeah. Enter the Dragon?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
that was the movie that began it all for all
Yeah.
the Kung Fu movies that we know today, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
this is
that's
kind
exactly what
of
this
is the movie that opened the door for.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of people were like, "How can you make a serious movie with spandex and little sword hands
Yeah,
or whatever?" Right?
yeah.
And a lot of people rolled their eyes, and it wasn't also even back then comics weren't really considered
They weren't cool.
literature, right?
No.
And it's gaining a lot of steam, a lot of traction nowadays.
Well,
You
sure.
know.
I mean, it's huge nowadays.
Yeah.
Right? It's huge.
I really like. Okay, in the beginning of the movie, we see Magneto. We're introduced to the villain, right? And it's a concentration camp, and
Oh my god, yeah,
because they want to go light.
yeah. Let's start with a really light scene.
yeah.
And Magneto gets torn away from his parents. Because,
What was your okay? So, non-comic guy, like you and I
Yeah.
think we're nerding over this. Part.
Sure, yeah.
But what that opening scene at the concert? What ran through your head as you're
Well,
watching this?
I'm watching it. Immediately, I actually said, it was funny because it shows the high heels in mud, I think, before anything happens. And I said to Laura, I said, this must be a concentration camp or something. Because when would you ever see high heels being led through mud, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually nailed that right away. I nailed it. But no, I took it. I was totally engaged because anytime you deal with, World War II and the concentration camps, it's something that's going to captivate you, right? So I was really drawn in on that. But yeah, it took an interesting turn when he started bending the gate and stuff. Obviously, this is a kid that had powers, but I like the way they did that because it was they did it in a kind of a believable way. He was so angry it's like he's gonna make something happen.
Yes.
Right? Because he's just
Mind over matter.
Yeah, exactly. And so I kind of like that whole beginning, but yeah, that was my take on that beginning.
Brilliant.
I don't think there was ever a superhero film before that had an opening that strong.
Yeah.
And it really set the tone for the whole film.
It really did, because Magneto, and you can tell right from the beginning throughout the whole movie, Magneto doesn't blame Nazis for World War II. He blames humans. Right? And that parallel in his mind is crystal clear.
Oh yeah. It's still one of my favorite sequences of any film ever. Yeah, it's
it's powerful. Yeah, it opens up with a bang, no question about it.
And then that's all you need for backstory for the bad guy. Like one scene
Yeah,
that lasted like 5 minutes
yeah.
or whatever. That was enough.
You understand his angst and anger for sure. Yeah.
Compelling villain right away.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Poor Wolverine is made out of metal, and he's got to fight, a magnet dude.
Yeah,
the magnet dude.
Did you feel for him, John?
I did feel for Wolverine. I mean, obviously, I'm not a comic guy. I don't know any background stuff, but he was kind of my favorite character. Probably everybody's. I mean, he was the main kind of. You start with his story. You start with him and the girl, and stuff. So you kind of felt like I'm following his journey through this. That's kind of just from a guy that knows nothing.
He's your gateway.
Yeah,
to the world.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the kind of guy you're following without any backstory, right? So yeah, I thought he was great. There is the mystery. Obviously, it opens up for more movies and more stories because how did this metal get in this guy? I don't know. I want to know. You guys already know. I'm sure you do, but I don't know. So yeah.
Wait, you know, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely know.
Good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. Keep going.
The senator.
Yes.
Slimy dude. Literally slimy dude.
Oh yeah. What
What
an appropriate power then. I never really thought of it that way, but
He went from slime to slime.
Yeah, he went from slime to slime. Oh well. So he's actually braver. They make him pretty brave in the movie. They tie him up and they're like, we're gonna kill you and blah blah blah. And he's still fighting back. He's saying, "You're evil scum" and whatever else. And then they give him these powers, and he turns into a jellyfish?
yeah.
I don't know. He died sort of.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
What powers did they?
Did they bring him back in the other movies?
No. I think the idea though was just it's a roll of the dice. I think the idea is that everyone has a potential to genetically evolve into your next evolution. We all evolve. Like they say every 7 years your cells regenerate and you're a little bit different. So I think that's the general idea, is that you have someone you can become. So maybe he's a slimy character and he becomes slime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a weird choice, but
It's a little on the nose, Bryan Singer. Or sorry.
Yeah. But
Yes.
is he not gone? Like, did he not die in this?
Yeah, he dies. Yeah,
He dies. That was it.
Eventually,
Turn to
he
water
just
or
keeps
whatever.
evolving to the point that he just becomes water.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I wasn't sure because I don't know if they brought back Senator Kelly.
Yeah, they never did.
Yeah.
Well, they did in that Mystique became him and took over his role and used her, her position as him to get things that she wanted.
Right. Oh, I don't know, man.
What else you got there?
Okay, there's this really cool table when they were talking about Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah, and the table with all the
They had this little table with all these little. It built itself up into.
and where you're like, oh boy, I like
want
the
that
game on
table.
that table.
I want that
It's an
table.
ultimate gaming table. I think you could buy it at IKEA. I'm sure.
No, yeah.
That was a cool table. I thought so. I haven't watched this movie in a little while. Like it's probably been like I used to watch it a few times a year, but I haven't watched it probably in 10 years. So it was kind of wanted to revisit. I was curious if I would enjoy it again.
Right.
And the things that I noted, there was a lot of scenes that were great in the film, and there was a lot of scenes that were mediocre. It's kind of what I felt. And I think the strength of the movie lies in the actors, because some of the lines are really bad. But I think Ian McKellen as Magneto and Patrick Stewart as Professor X, like just every time they're interacting with each other, it doesn't matter how shitty the script is, they execute on it because they're just master thespians, right?
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, like they're really good. It's like,
And
what? Like,
think
how
they-
did,
Yeah,
like the lines, like, you know,
there's an interesting dynamic going on between those two, which you guys,
Yeah.
once again, you guys probably know. I don't know, but certainly they seem like they're friends. Like there's
Yeah.
a history that I don't know, and they don't really explain in the movie. You just get a sense like they're old friends. They go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there seems to be somewhat of a mutual respect and a mutual hatred at the same time. Is that a
Yeah.
fair assessment of these two? Or
I think way back in the day, they wanted to build a community of mutants, and they had the same general ideas. And so they built Cerebro together, that machine, and that
to locate music.
To
Music? To locate music.
To locate
It's called
mutants.
Napster.
And
They
then-
called it Cerebro, but it was actually Napster.
and then at some point, they realized, oh, okay, Magneto wants to kill all the humans, and so it turned
Well,
into.
they actually cover this in X-Men First Class. So
Oh, yeah.
several films down the.
and that's where the
they show how they met and how they
okay.
split
Yeah.
I see.
and why. It was because they had the same general idea, but at one point, something prompted them to say, you know what, my way is better than your way. I think you have an idea of how they can be peaceful, and then Magneto's like, no, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. And you say they show this in X-Men First Class. Is that a movie? Or
Yeah, it's the fourth film.
It's the fourth film. So we revisit this. Okay.
Yeah, the
gotcha.
fourth film takes place in the 50s.
I see.
Yeah, during
Then you
the
see them
Cuban Missile Crisis.
as young guys.
Anyway, they split. One goes into the Brotherhood of Mutants, and the other one turns to the X-Men. Of course, in the comics, they jazz it up a little bit with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. This was really good. I had so much fun going back to the X-Men roots. It was made a long time ago. It held up really well.
They used a lot of practical effects, which I actually liked. They weren't using too much CGI because this movie was troubled from the beginning in that they gave a timeline to the director. It says, okay, you've got 2 years to make this movie.
Okay.
Then they realized Steven Spielberg is putting out a movie at the same time frame that you're going to release this movie, and we need Spielberg's movie got pushed back 6 months, so we need something else to fill the slot in the summer. So we're moving your movie up 6 months. And you're like, oh, we just lost 6 months. And then they had a budget they gave them, and then they took money away from the budget twice. And then they lost I think they lost their composer at one point.
Holy
And then
crap.
there was just stuff happening. And then they had the script fully done and decided. And then they would take money away. And then the producers would come in and say, well, this, and this, and the script, you got to take those out. It's like, but that's the key element. So they were literally writing the script on set in a lot of the scenes. So the fact that this movie turned out at all
Yeah.
is actually impressive.
And it's
Wow.
coherent too.
And it's coherent. But
Yeah.
everyone that was involved in the movie loved what they were doing, and they literally, I think they literally finished editing like 5 or 6 days before the release. Like it was ridiculous. The score was
Wow.
composed a week before. Like it's
Wow.
insane. So they had a lot of problems. So the fact that this got made at all
Yeah.
and actually turned out as well as it did is
Well, yeah,
rather
and it's
impressive.
huge. Like, 75 million budget, and then 296.3 million in the box office.
And
That's
back
one of
then,
our higher ones.
that's massive numbers.
Yeah,
That's massive
That
numbers.
is massive numbers. Yeah.
So, I mean,
those money bags got to be kicking themselves. Oh, we should give them more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, well, maybe it's a good thing we didn't, because we made even more money back, right? So, and then they lost their Wolverine. 3 weeks into filming, they lost their Wolverine.
Well, what do you mean?
What?
What happened?
Hugh Jackman?
No, they had someone else, and he got
Oh.
injured. He was.
Oh, really?
I think they started filming the movie, and DeGray Scott was Wolverine, and he was in Mission Impossible 2, I think it was, and he got injured on set.
So they had to go to get
So
Hugh
they had
Jackman was
so they had to
backup.
find him, yeah. So Russell Crowe was the first actor they asked for the role, and he turned it down because scheduling or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he said, "You got to use my buddy Hugh."
Yeah.
And they're like, maybe, I don't know, but then they went with this other guy. So the cast list for Wolverine was ridiculous. Like
Really?
the actors that went through, Bob Hoskins was the original choice. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And Angela
Really?
Bassett was Storm. So those are the first two cast, and then it just.
Well,
Change,
once you see the movie, it's hard to picture anything. Like I
No,
thought Hugh
he
Jackman
did
did such a good job at it. It's hard to picture anyone else now, right? But
So he had issues. He had issues in the role, and that is like, well, he's a skinny guy, a very skinny guy. So they actually had to change the sequence of shooting. So 3 weeks in, they bring Hugh Jackman in, and they already have a reduced shooting schedule because they've moved it up 6 months, and now they took money away. So they were really struggling with what to do with them. So Hugh Jackman convinced them to, okay, well, the scenes at the beginning of the movie where you see him shirtless and in the cage or whatever, they filmed that at the end. So he worked out
to get
nuts.
bulk up.
Yeah, so the shirtless scenes were all filmed at the end.
Wow.
So he could get as big as he could, as quick as he could. And
Wow.
so pretty impressive because he was.
Yeah.
You notice some scenes where he's wearing the costume while he's skinny there.
He's skinnier there. Yeah. Yeah.
And now he's being pursued, like for the next Deadpool movie, right?
Oh, Reynolds has been after him for forever.
Yeah, because they wanted he's synonymous with Wolverine now.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally. Should we get into this trivia?
Yes.
Hugh Jackman took ice cold showers every morning of filming in order to help get into character. This tradition started when jumping into the shower at 5 a.m. before realizing there was no hot water. Shocked awake, but not wanting to wake his sleeping wife, he gritted his teeth and bore it. Before realizing that this mindset wanted to scream and lash out at something, but having to hold it all in was all part of what Wolverine was all about, and is constantly. He then decided to take cold showers every morning during filming.
Wow! So
Wolverine preparation.
This was just a freakish thing that he had a hot water problem in his place.
Yeah.
And so he started taking these cold showers, and he realized, wow, this is making me grumpy.
Yeah, it makes me grumpy.
That's right. He realized that, he almost killed his wife. Is that what we're learning from this? No. Well.
That's good.
Well, there you go.
You take the next one.
Sure. This is a nice short one. Neither Sir Patrick Stewart nor Sir Ian McKellen knew how to play chess during filming. A chess master came in to teach them.
A chess master.
They had to get a chess master. They didn't need somebody that just knew how to play chess.
How to play chess. I don't know.
I like
that's
those
such
chess
a
scenes.
small
Those chess
scene.
scenes were great, though.
So,
Was there more than one?
Well, they did it in the second film as well.
Oh.
It was a common thing, like, okay, well, we're enemies, but we still have our chess game.
Yeah.
We're going to play
every
Pocono
Thursday.
on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Or whatever, this is their Pocono.
Wait, weapons down.
Yeah.
We're gonna make our tea.
I guess though, that shows quality filmmaking, right? Because there is that guy that is that plays chess for a living, or he's a chess master, and he's watching this movie, and he's playing, right? And he's looking at the board and goes, "Oh yeah, look at that.
That's a good move.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good board
nice
state.
counter.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Willow played Professor X.
Yeah, played. There were 3 types of Wolverine claws: plastic, rubber, and steel. More than 700 individual claw blades were used by Hugh Jackman and his 4 stunt doubles.
Huh. Wow.
Getting the claws right was a big.
700.
Getting the claws right was a big deal.
Yeah, I guess so. Because he's
yeah.
the main draw.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted to see him in a movie.
Yeah.
After the movie was completed, the wheelchair that Professor Xavier used was sold in an auction to Sir Patrick Stewart's attorney, and then rented back to the production company for the subsequent movies.
I know these movies will be
Yeah.
popular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay me $2 million, but you got to pay me $10 million to rent the chair.
Yeah. All subsequent movies were $10 million more the budget for the chair.
Oh man. Yeah, up until that point, I knew him as Captain Jean-Luc Picard
Yeah.
on Star Trek, and then as soon as he was Professor X in this movie,
He became
he
Professor
became
X.
Professor X.
Imagine having that kind of career where you get 2 iconic roles like that.
That's
How many
crazy.
people get to do that?
And honestly, Hugh Jackman broke out of Wolverine to do other great things too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a few actors who got stuck in a role and never left. Like poor Spock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did direct a few films though. He did. What's the one he did? 3 Men and a Baby, or one of those types of movies.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. I could be wrong.
Comment down below. Let us
Comment
know.
down below.
Educate us.
Yes.
El Shawnee's full of.
Yeah. We can't wait to read your stuff. Is that X-Men, gentlemen?
I think that's X-Men. I mean, hey, I'm not going to call the final word because you guys, especially him,
Yeah.
this is your movie. So if you want anything more to say, this is your time to do it.
You see, but we're biased, right?
Yeah.
You're the clean slate.
Well, that's fine. Yeah, but
Did you like it?
I liked it. I liked it. I guess the one thing I'd say I was a little confused is about what the agenda of the evil guy.
Magneto.
Yeah, with his machine. I didn't quite understand what the machine was supposed to be achieving.
Yes.
He made a mutant out of the senator there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it didn't really. I felt like the movie. If there's one thing that fell short from a guy that knew nothing,
Yeah.
is what there was something about using Rogue to do something that I didn't quite understand. Where did Rogue fit into this machine, and what was he trying to achieve? That
was maybe a little sloppy in the writing. I know because I've seen it
yeah.
a gazillion times, but even I think seeing it the first time, why are you doing that? Like, I think I think there's parts that were cut out because I think the original plan, the original script, they had to modify it on the fly. So
he his metal powers
Yeah.
factored into how the machine worked, right?
Okay.
And so he realized, oh my God, if I use this machine to do this big thing, I'm
to
going
do
to
it
die.
that big, because when he did it on the Senator,
Yeah, he almost died. Right.
But he wanted to do it on a bigger scale. He was going to affect all of Manhattan. Was it Manhattan or all?
He just wanted to transform everybody on Ellis Island.
On Ellis Island,
because
Into
all
mutants.
these world leaders were going to be there.
Yeah.
Right. So
if he transforms all the world leaders and they all become mutants, now we have a united.
He's got mutant power.
Yeah, like everyone will have a mutant power.
Yeah.
And then they'll understand because they're talking about a registration act, how every
Right.
mutant's going to have to register. At the beginning, every mutant should register because if you have a gun, you have to register.
Right. Right. So where does Rogue fit into this? Is that he figures that
she absorbs powers. So if she absorbs his power, and then she powers the machine, and then she dies, he'll eventually get his powers back. But he won't have to die he won't have to make the ultimate sacrifice.
See, that was the thing I couldn't follow that. But
yeah.
And then Wolverine has that great line when he says, what do you say, some villain you are, or something like, or you're full of shit.
Oh yeah, I almost bought into your craziness, but
Yeah.
you're sacrificing this girl.
Yeah.
yeah.
I almost get it.
All right, there we go.
That's X-Men, gentlemen.
It is.
And thank you so much for joining us. Next week, Monday at noon, we're covering Best of Enemies. This was my pick. And we're going to be doing it with Christian and Greg.
Now, why'd you pick this, Steve?
Thank you for asking, John. I picked this movie because I watched the commercial and it kind of seemed like a little bit of fun. It's set way back in the day in this old southern town, and there's there's a fire and the black school burns down. Right, there's a bit of segregation.
Okay.
Right, so the whole community has to figure out where these people are going to go to school, and then there's a white supremacist leader, and then there's the black power leader, and they have to kind of try to get along.
This sounds like a great movie.
It's based on real life. And
Wow.
yeah, it's good stuff, and it's got Sam Rockwell in it. He's great.
Sam Rockwell's always good.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't wait to talk about it. John,
Yes.
Steve,
Sean Roma.
yeah, guest critic.
Guest critic, check him out. Sean Geek Podcast.
Yeah,
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Sean Geek Podcast.
he's great stuff. You got to check him out.
Check out my show.
Bye bye.